Thank you guys for stopping in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. In this video, I am going to teach you guys how to buy your first investment property. Just that simple. I don't have any fancy graphics or anything like that. No slides or anything. Just going to give it to you straight because it's not that hard. There are nuances around it, but other than that, really not that hard. And doesn't mean you could just jump in it. You still need to get educated on things, on those nuances, but the formula never changes. And the first thing I would say is stop listening to your realtors. That's not a shot to realtors, but realtors, loan officers, all those people um, can lead you astray and have you in over your head more than what you anticipated. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so anytime you get ready to buy an investment property, one of the things you need to look for, or you can use this on their home as well, you need to know the ARV. That should be your number one question. What's the ARV? That's ARV stands for after repair value. So after all the repairs are done, what could I sell this home for, or what is it trading for? What are other homes like it in the market trading for? That's it. Okay. Let's just for easy math, we'll say you're looking at a property. It's they have it listed for $100,000 and it needs some work. The first question out of your mouth should be to your realtor. This is their job. What's the ARV? Realtor comes back and says, "Oh, the ARV is 150." Homes like this in similar area, and don't just take their word for it. Have them prove it to you, right? You want like for like. You want to say, so if this home was all fixed up, this is what I could potentially get for it. And you're like, yep. And I pulled these comps within the last 3 months. So you have the most accurate data. 150. Great. That's a deal you do, right? If it's 150 and they're selling it for 100, okay, we could do that. Now, there's another step to this. We don't want to pay list price, right? Because you want the equity baked in. So you have to come back and you offer them 60% of the ARV, whatever that is. And it's a simple formula calculation. And I should have had my calculator ready for this video, but I did not. So this is, you guys, we gonna get the real look here. Hold on one second. Do I have a calculator here? Okay, pull one out. And you can always use this in ChatGPT as well. But I'm old school, so I got the Casio. Oh, it's not Casio. Sorry, Canon. Got the Canon here. I do have a Casio. So if it's 150, I put that in my calculator, and I say 150 is the ARV price, and then you could only pay 60% of that. Is what I'm saying. Well, you say, how did I come up with 60%? Good question. You come up with 60% because it's not a it's not an exact science, right? It's not a rule that you have to offer 60. You can offer 70. It just that you gotta. This is where the skill comes in, right? You gotta kind of follow the market and pay attention to what's going on in the world and the economy. You know, if you're hearing things like if we had a market back in 2020, you wanted to underwrite because that's what you're doing. You're underwriting the property, right? You're doing your math, making sure that it makes sense. If you're hearing like interest rates are going down, blah blah blah, banks are, you know, tend to start lending more, then go ahead. Go ahead and you could write it at 70. I never go beyond 70%. But in a market like today where we're in, you have to be ultra conservative. 65, 60, right? Percent of the ARV. Okay. So we're at 150 as the sale price. Excuse me. And I go times 0.60 equals that's $90,000. So I don't want to offer more than $90,000 based on the ARV of the home because I know it's not going to be worth that much more. Now, to step three. So just to recap, one, What's the ARV? You got to know that. And then have them prove it to you. Two, 60% of the ARV is what you can offer. The third step here, which is probably a really important one, you need to see what type of repairs you're going to have to do to the house, right? It may need some work. Okay. What type of work are we looking at? How do I know that? You're going to have to walk it with a contractor. That's just part of it, right? So hopefully you know someone. Now again, we're going to the skill piece. It's not something you can do over a weekend because you might get, quite frankly, screwed. Just because a lot of contractors out there are going to take advantage. It's all in the name, contractors. And this video is not intended to um, give all contractors a bad name and give all realtors and all of that. Not everyone's out to get you, but I say that because you need to be the one in charge. None of it happens without the buyer. The buyer is the most important person in the equation. No one else is. Okay. Okay. So, not, by the way, I wish I knew this when I was getting into this. I did not. I knew all of the other stuff, meaning like how to manage a property, how to do all these things, how to deal with contractors, and how to manage a job site. I knew all those types of things. How to find good tenants. I all of that I knew. I just didn't know the acquisition piece. But you get to know it now based on this video. All right. So, sorry for getting off here. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you are enjoying this type of content. Um, trying to give you guys value. So now we're at 90%, which is 60% of our ARV. And then you walk through the contractor. The contractor said, okay, it's not too bad in here. I can do all of the work for you, whatever that entails. Maybe I got to do some flooring. I got to do some painting, interior, exterior painting. I got to do lighting, blah, 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 all that stuff. He says, I could do it all for 15,000. Great. You go back to your 90,000, you hit minus 15. Now you have 75,000. So now your offer changes to 75 grand. Okay. Hopefully everyone's following with me. Depending on whether or not what you want to do with the property, you need to tack on. If it's a flip, you got to think about it a little differently. I'm not covering that in this video. I just simply want to tell you how to buy your first investment property. So that's it. That's all. So now your max offer could be 75 grand. You say, well, that's unrealistic. No, it's not. It's again, this is rough math here. I'm giving you the formula. You go make your offers. Um, and make sure your realtor is educating you on like how to protect yourself when you submit the offers. And that's a whole nother thing. I'm not going to get into that either because I want to keep this video pretty short and tight. But that's how you do it. And you telling me you couldn't do anyone could do that. Now there's some other skill things. Doesn't mean you're going to get it right every time. But the point of this exercise is you need to learn how to underwrite your own properties because there's not a bank around that wouldn't take this deal and give you a mortgage on it. There's not one bank that wouldn't do that deal. If you were using this formula and you got obviously assuming you have credit, you know, capital, all those types of things, banks will work with you because you've done all the heavy lifting for them. They get to come in and just ink the deal, right? Banks and financial institutions are not real estate savvy people. That being said, most real estate people are not savvy real estate people. You got a lot of uneducated real estate agents out there, and I'm not bashing on real estate agents at all. Please don't take it that way. But that's why you, as the investor, have to be in the driver's seat, and you got to manage everyone. And they all report to you. They all work for you because once you sign the deal, they all eat first. Period. So just to recap, ARV, the most important question, and have them prove it to you, your realtor. Two, you can only offer up to remember the 60% of whatever that ARV is, or right? That number two is flexible, right? Don't think of it as a hard and fast rule. Pay attention to the economy. Three, contractor, because you need to know what that's going to cost you to get that property ready, and then submit your offer. Now, that's kind of the short and skinny of it. But let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any questions, I can probably elaborate a little bit further on that. But that's essentially how the game is played and won, for that matter. So, all right, you guys, take care. Bye.